Well, hello, friends. It's Father Dan speaking with you from my home study. And I'm going to introduce you to the Rosary, if you aren't already familiar with it. The Rosary, prayer beads with a cross or a crucifix on the one end, has long been a Christian devotional practice. Of course, praying with prayer beads is used by religious traditions throughout the world, but the Rosary specifically is a way to remember our salvation history in prayer. The prayers include the Apostles' Creed, the Lord's Prayer, the Hail Mary, and the Glory Be, in a variety of combinations that we'll talk about in a little bit. The Rosary is a Christian prayer. It satisfies the needs of the Protestant Reformation. All of the mysteries of the Rosary, or the things that we meditate on, all have scriptural warrant. They have a background in the Bible. The joyful mysteries, the first set of mysteries, are about the Annunciation and the birth in the early days of Christ, essentially found in the first and second chapter of St. Luke's Gospel. The luminous mysteries are about the life and teachings of Jesus that you find throughout the Gospels. The sorrowful mysteries are about the passion and death of Jesus, also found throughout the four Gospels. And the glorious mysteries are about the resurrection and what comes beyond in the early church, again found in the Gospels, in the Acts of the Apostles, and certainly in the Revelation according to St. John. The Rosary is a good meditative prayer. You can pray the Rosary when you're doing a variety of other things. I often pray it when I'm walking about town, walking to and from the church office or throughout the neighborhoods. It's a way for me to focus myself in prayer, focus whatever thoughts that I may have in the prayers and the traditions of the church. I find it extraordinarily helpful. I introduce it to you right now because we are in a time of national anxiety. As I record this video, it is the day before Election Tuesday, and there is a great deal of anxiety and concern in our parish, in our city and state and country, and even around the world with the process and the outcome of this presidential election. So having resources for prayer, things that can sort of take us out of our own heads, our own anxiety and worry, and focus ourselves elsewhere is a good thing. And I recommend this prayer to you as one way of being able to go about your day, or at least a few minutes here and there in your day, and get your head out of whatever your worries are and turn those worries, those concerns, over to God, over to Jesus, who loves us more than we can ask or imagine, and over to his Blessed Mother, who, remember, we don't pray to, but we ask to pray for us in intercession, just as I may ask you to pray for me, or you may ask me to pray for you. It is entirely appropriate in the communion of saints for us to ask the saints to pray for us as well. And just a word also about the prayer, the Hail Mary, because sometimes that is misunderstood as a prayer to Mary. The first half of the Hail Mary, of course, is biblical. It talks about the visitation when Mary visited her cousin Elizabeth. The second part of the Hail Mary talks about the communion of saints, and it also talks about Mary as the Mother of God, which was affirmed in the earliest ecumenical councils of the Church. So even though we are a post-Reformation people, we Anglicans, we Episcopalians, we are also Catholic, and we honor those earliest traditions of the Church that go back to the time long before we were divided by denomination and other such things. That's a brief introduction to the Rosary. I'll do other videos praying each of the mysteries of the Rosary that you can pray along with without this brief introduction to get in the way of your prayer. God's blessings and peace with you, and be of good cheer, especially in these hard times.